Submitted for the approval of the Let Us In podcast listeners. We call this episode Summer Camp Horror.
I'm Crystal from Creepin and Spooky.
I'm Emma, aka Emma of the Impact.
I'm Justine, aka JustineUFF.
Should I
Camp
say
on, we
So
hold you in our hearts.
Hearts.
And
And when we think about you, it makes me want to fart.
I don't know.
So
this
we
one,
gotta
so-
say, because you're Canadian, so I gotta say that for those that don't know the reference, it's Camp Anawana, salute your shorts. I tried to have a Bobby Budnick look, ginger mullet, but it didn't work out. So summer camp, it's supposed to be a time of fun. Did you guys find it very surprising that there are not many summer camp horrors? It seems like a common
Absolutely.
genre.
You know what? I thought for sure that summer camp was like one of the bigger subgenres. Like,
Yeah.
it seems so iconic and like memed, or like, I don't know how to explain this, but it seems like something that everybody knows about. Like, oh, go to summer camp, get massacred. That's like a horror movie thing. There's not very many.
No, there's
And
not. And it's one of my
surprisingly,
favorite
also-
settings.
Me too. I thought.
Yeah.
I think there's
Until
when
I
I
went and rewatched all of these.
It depends on what your boundaries are of what a summer camp. When we say summer camp, we
True.
mean they are getting ready for a children's summer camp to open, or there is an active summer camp. So we're not just talking
Mhm.
camping, because that's a lot more. But when there's an actual summer camp involved,
Mhm.
there's about 20 to 30. Really, when we looked deep.
Yeah, we scoured the
Scoured.
internet.
And some of them are technically count, like Stage Fright from 2015 with Meatloaf. Like, it's a musical theater camp, and technically it takes place at a summer camp, but it
Mhm.
mostly feels like a theater camp horror. They're mostly just in the theater.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of summer camp stuff, even though it technically
Yeah.
counts. So,
Yeah, I think it counts. I mean, summer camp can have like types of summer camps, right?
well, and then
people
there's
going
Bloody Buddy
to a
Bible
camp.
camp.
And
people
cheerleading
going to-
camp
Cheerleader camp, yeah.
during the summertime. Yeah, totally.
But cheerleader camp also feels very summer campy, like very mess
Yeah.
hall type of summer camp.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You know what? We have our Discord link below. So if we don't cover a couple summer camp ones that you know of, go ahead and let us know in Discord, and we'll make sure to cover those, or in the comments below.
Please
And
let
hit
us
that like
know, because
button.
there's got to be more out there. There's got to be
There
more.
has to be. And I will admittedly say that I did not watch a lot of sequels this time around. So I didn't watch a ton of Friday the 13th sequels. I just watched the OG.
There's
I
only
did
2
not
that
watch-
count.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
only 2
And I
sequels.
didn't watch any of the Sleepaway Camp sequels either. I just watched the OG. I didn't have a lot of time. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just I love the original Sleepaway Camp, but my favorite, and I love Felicia Rose, but my favorite Angela is Pamela Springsteen, Bruce Springsteen's niece. She's my favorite Angela.
Aw.
She's pretty wild.
She
unhinged.
embraces it. She is
She does.
unhinged. Even though she has this prudish ideology, I had a crush on her. I don't know what it is. It's like curly hair, I guess. I don't know what there's something about Pamela Springsteen. She's a photographer now, but there's something about Pamela Springsteen in that role. And the second one, she has a Jason mask and the Freddy thing, and she's like literally like they're making reference to that, and she really embraces the
Sounds like I probably
murderists.
would like that one better too.
I think you would like that one
Because I
better.
do like
Me
more
too.
self-aware and meta and over-the-top style horror. I remember
The
liking
latrine
Sleepaway
kill is
Camp.
awesome.
You
with
know,
the
and I
leeches.
know I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them. It's just
Yeah.
I don't remember them, and I feel like it's been a long time. And even rewatching Sleepaway Camp, I don't remember so much of what happened. I mean, the real memorable stuff, of course, like the gist of it.
Ricky, Angela, your ride is here.
Yeah, and I remember like characters and really like pivotal moments for them, and a lot of lines. Like I remembered a lot of those lines.
Yeah.
Crystal, your favorite, of course. I remember.
Yeah,
I
eat
just
shit
wanna
and die,
touch upon-
Ricky.
Eat shit and live, Bill. Yeah. It's fantastic. That kid's my favorite in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Ricky?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty great.
He's sassy pants, and he's
Mhm.
got a good heart. So
Yeah,
I
he's
I
think
just
he's a
want to
good
mention
protagonist.
super brief before we get more into sleepaway camp that we recognize the problematic aspects of sleepaway camp for
Totally.
for certain communities, and and some people within the community find it insulting and upsetting, and other people have reclaimed it. But since we're all cisgender people, we cannot reclaim it ourselves, so we're not going to focus on that aspect of sleepaway camp, but
Mm.
we want to know that we're aware of it.
Yeah, and we tend to acknowledge a lot of problematic films that we have a nostalgia for because we watch them at in a different headspace and awareness and perspective. And this is one that I actually, upon rewatch, like less
But for different reasons, because you
for
think
different
that
reasons.
Judy
Yeah.
is old.
I
We had a
it's
long conversation about it. Admire Crystal's side pony
I'm
in his
channeling
crimp.
Judy. Yeah,
channeling the
this is my
Judy.
Judy do.
I think Judy's character is really awesome for a horror movie character. She plays
You
that
love to
tropey
hate
mean
her.
girl,
Yeah.
but she's very hypersexual. You could tell that she's older than the boys that she's making out
I
with
don't
in the
think she
movie.
is. I don't think
I
she is.
I think she's over 18.
I
Again,
do
that
not think
interview
so. According to the
stated that
internet,
she
she is
was
not.
in college,
Yeah.
a freshman in
She could be
college.
18.
So she's at least 18.
I don't
And
think the
I don't
boys
know
are
if
that
those
young.
boys are 18. They definitely look younger than her. But that's not the only thing I found problematic. I found like the older guy who owns the camp is
Having a
very
date with
creepy
a
also.
15-year-old,
He's
and she's like,
clearly like
Yeah.
with that Meg character.
Yeah.
He
and
slaps
she's
her
like
on the ass.
excited. She's excited to
into
go
it.
on a date with him, and it's like,
Yeah.
and he's for those that have not seen Sleepaway Camp, he's not like, which still would be just as upsetting and inappropriate if he was like an attractive older dude. It doesn't matter, it's inappropriate. But he's like grandpa going to play golf, older dude.
Yeah.
Like this
Who
is
wears
like.
striped polos and smokes a cigar.
And has like this like the plaid pants and white shoes. Like this is like grandpa. Like there is no way she
Giving
would be
sleazy vibes. Yeah,
excited to
he's
go on a
super
date with
sleazy.
this dude, but she is,
Yeah.
and she is clearly a teenager.
Whether the actress, I know the actress is also very young because she also looks really young, but she could
We
be
gotta
18,
say
that's
that nothing
possible.
happens between them in the movie
He slaps
itself.
her on the ass and like grabs on her and stuff when
That's
they're
true.
like
Besides that,
talking.
but
I
the
thought,
date
like,
doesn't
that's the
have.
part I
Meg
saw it and I was
dies
like,
before the date.
get your
So.
hands off of her. Like,
I
why are you
know.
still holding her waist?
There is a, I'm not going to say it on
Ew.
YouTube, but there is a quote in the beginning when two adults, one of them being the cook, and I can't remember which other adult it was. It wasn't the main director, where they're seeing the kids come in and he makes, if you've seen the movie, you know what that comment is. It's that it stands out. But
Highly
it's
inappropriate.
but there's a lot of these summer camp movies where so my Camp Kaleidoscope thing was like a day camp that I went to Girl Scouts with for like 5 days. So I never went to a proper summer camp. But when I watch summer camp horror movies, it seems like your biggest danger isn't getting murdered, it's getting molested. But it's just
Well,
like there's so
Or
many
pregnant.
creeps.
Yeah.
Like cheerleader camp is another one that I really like, but there's like all the girls they're a little older. The actresses are a little older than in Sleepaway Camp is when the actors are actually fairly young, because it's not really common. It's usually people in their 20s playing a little younger, which is better for that kind of subject. But
Yeah.
but cheerleader camp, we've got 2 Playboy models, literally Playboy models, 1 penthouse model. And then we've got Leif Garrett, who used to be a teen idol, before the movie. He was a teen idol, and he's balding, got the widow's peak. He was famous for a song that is very disco, and this is an 80s movie. I was made for dancing all night long. So it's like so it's really weird. There's a clear age difference there as well, and it's just kind of and there's another male character who also isn't appealing and is a peeping tom, and it's just like it's very 80s. I just got to say that, like the 80s horror of certain genres, summer camp being one of them, and all the 80s sex comedies, Porky's and Meatballs, which was a summer camp movie too. I'm not saying it's okay, I'm just saying that when you're watching 80s movies of this genre, this is what it's going to be.
That is 100% accurate. And that's why, like, I talk about it with like today's eyes, today's brain. I can not enjoy something more because I can't get past it. And in this one, it was really hard for me to enjoy because
Sleepaway Camp.
it just, I there's still moments that I still really do enjoy. Like the more like mean girl interactions and like bully-esque nature of things, I enjoyed way more than the like sexual stuff where like
It's to tell you the truth, I dug in some muck movies. And
yeah.
this one is one of surprisingly so. Sleepaway Camp is more sexual than your Friday the 13th 1, 2, and 6, which are the ones that count in this category.
Yeah.
Is a lot more sexual than them, but all the others
Friday the
way more
13th
sexual. We've
There's
got one where
something
Ron
about-
Jeremy plays Jesus, and he is in jail for SA. That guy. So
Yeah.
so there's a lot of stuff going on in these. Well, stage fright isn't terribly.
Well,
sensitive.
sleepaway. Okay, first of all, camp. Generally, I saw in real life when I went to camp, and I'm talking like Christian camp. Like
Mhm.
I saw more sex at Christian camp than anywhere else in my life. So
What?
I'm not
So
saying
it's
not
true.
accurate, but
It's
there's a
true.
lot of hanky panky going on. There's a lot
There's a
of
lot.
no adult. You typically have 5 or 6.
I didn't even have a
adults
boyfriend
and
in high
bunch of
school. What's going on
teenagers
with you
who are living in
guys?
cabins and stuff who are running the cabins. The
Or a
counselors are
girlfriend.
always underage. They're
Oh,
just as hypersexual as
Well,
the
they're
kids that
junior
they're
counselors usually,
watching.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, but your actual like counselors, the adults running the program, it's probably like 20 to 1, 20 kids to 1.
Oh,
And that's
easy.
not
Yeah.
counting the counselors that are also children.
Did you go
Like-
to Camp Crystal?
Yeah, I was a
In
camp
Crystal Lake?
counselor. Yeah. I did.
Sorry.
I was a camp counselor, but I was a junior counselor. So I was
Mhm.
16, and then we had the senior counselors, and they were like 18 to 20. Like they weren't very old either.
Were
And
they
then
pervy?
everybody-
Oh,
It's. I don't want to say that they were pervy, but like stuff did go
encouraging
on amongst
Like,
some of the counselors. Yes.
yeah.
And then all of the kids that were going to the camp were from like 7 to 15. Like there was like an age range. And so like I as a junior counselor was only 1 year older than the people in my cabin, like some of the people in my cabin. So it was a definitely weird dynamic, and definitely stuff happens for sure. More amongst the senior counselors, I would say, but
Yeah.
definitely.
I met a lot of
It's,
boys at camp.
Yeah.
I spent
Yeah,
my
you really
summers.
do.
I
You
spent my
do.
summers with my grandma in New Jersey.
Well, that's
Oh,
wholesome.
going and visiting my mom in the summers, I met way more boys too. Like, I mean, summertime is just like I don't know what it is. You know, you
It's a
spend
wild
your
time.
entire year
Mhm.
in this industrialized version of education,
Yeah.
and it's like work, but you're a kid. So when summer happens, you literally
You're just like,
you are a kid being a kid now, but also you have this like ingrained mental adulthood thing that's being shoved in your face for an entire school year. So when summer comes around, you think you're older now than you were
Yeah.
last summer, and every summer you're acting older, you're trying to be older, but you're also still a kid making kid decisions, doing stupid shit and going wild. So
Yeah.
summer camp
I
is
haven't
just a
lived.
breeding ground for that because there's even less adult and there's even more children being this way.
I was
And
scared of
it's
everything. I was scared of everything.
terrifying
That's why
as
I've
an
seen so many
adult looking
movies.
at that.
That's why I've
But
seen.
so-
Why do you think I've seen so many movies? Because I haven't lived a lot of a life.
I don't
But that's
think that
okay.
the summer camp films are inaccurate to that. I just think it's probably not something we should exploit for entertainment with actual children and adult actors. So if they're all adult, I don't have a problem with it. Like Friday the
Yeah.
13th, they're all adults. And I know that they're all adults. And the sex scenes in that are actually sexy. Like,
Yeah.
Are they?
there's
I don't really remember there being a sexy
rewatching
scene.
it, like there's a sex scene, and I'm like, I think they're actually having sex. Like, she does not seem to be faking it, and these movements, this looks real, and that's actually super
Yeah.
common, by the way. There's actors who've talked about this very openly, that they
Wow.
don't simulate sex in a lot of their films, that they just actually have that.
Well, it's
Interesting.
harder to simulate sex than it is to actually just have sex. It's
Yeah.
harder to simulate it.
Yeah, and I swear you can tell like when their like body is clearly way further away where they're thrusting.
Like the room, like
Yes,
what's
it
his
is.
name
The
in the room when
thigh?
it looks like he's like having sex with her belly button.
Yeah. Like you could just tell like the distance doesn't make sense. But in that
Yeah.
Friday the 13th sex scene, I'm like,
Between
Is
what
this the
characters?
Kevin Bacon one? Kevin Bacon?
is it? It might be, yeah. Wait, is it? I don't even remember now.
Hmm.
Like,
Well, the Friday the 13th
yeah,
too.
I think so. I think it is. Hey,
Well, if we're
Kevin.
gonna talk about Kevin
Hey,
Bacon,
Kevin.
let's talk about that kill. Because his kill, or his death, I guess, was so good.
It was
We love
good, and it
those.
was improvised.
Oh, really? Well, I
It
know that
went
they only did it like once.
well, something went wrong. I can't remember what it was exactly. And
Just
so,
pulled up a bunch of
Tom
porn on me.
Savini and his one or his partner who was doing the special effects were under the bed that Kevin Bacon is lying on when he gets murdered. Just in time, put their mouth on the hose where the blood's supposed to come out, and they just, and that's why the blood really spurts out of his neck.
Yeah, 'cause
And
it
so that
drains
was
out.
like a happy accident.
Yeah.
I know that stuff because I've had,
Sorry.
like,
I
I've had a very
literally,
boring life.
I was
Very boring.
Googling Friday the 13th.
I'm not a virgin, you guys.
scene, and it brought up a whole bunch of porn sites. So I was like, oh, that's not right.
There's two movies. Well, it's like it's one with a sequel that isn't really worth mentioning too much. It's called Bloody Murder. Great title, right? It was made in 1999, and it basically, like, a lot of people will say with a lot of summer camp movies, like, oh, it's just ripping off Friday the 13th, and it's really not. It's just kind of like there's only so much you could do with summer camp movies.
Yeah.
But these movies were a ripoff of Friday the 13th to the point where, and also a very made for TV version, and it's just, and they make a big deal out of the internet. I love that in movies when they're like internet,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean, I never tell people not to watch a movie, but those I could say are Bloody Murder and Bloody Murder 2 definitely are. I wouldn't be first on the list of like summer camp horror to watch. Although I did watch a movie I'm in love with just today for this very episode. It only has like 148 logs on Letterboxd, and it was shot in Maine. It's called Camp Days, originally called Camp Slaughter. I won't get into it too much, but I loved every moment of that movie. It is that perfect je ne sais quoi of stupid but earnest. Like, it's not trying to be really stupid, even though it's playing on tropes. It just works so well. And the premise is that the movie came out in 2005. And so these people in modern day, which at the time was 2005, and you can tell, you can tell.
My senior
So
year
many
of
memories.
school.
There are so many memories from 2005 came back just from the way they talked and the way they dressed, studded belt. Oh my
That
god.
clip you sent me was so good.
Oh, it's the look on his
Yes.
face. He's
I
the
was
look
him
of
when I was watching that. Like, literally, when you sent that to me and I watched it and then it cut to his face, we had the same face. I was like,
So first off, I love her energy of you can't and then
Hiawatha.
Hiawatha. No, it's serious. Camp Hiawatha. And then he's just
Ugh.
disgusted. And he's just
And
met
he's
this
like-
girl too. And that scene, it's so good. So the
wish I
premise
watched
is,
that
so
one.
these people in 2005, they get lost in driving from Maine to Boston. We don't know why, but they are. And somehow they get lost. And they get lost into this summer camp that is trapped in 1981. And they relive the same day over and over again. And these series of murders happen. Is the story perfect and can make total sense? No. But it's earnest enough that you can follow it without it getting infuriating. For me, I enjoyed every single moment of it. There's another line in it that I love is like, I had to make right my sin that I did, letting that boy drown. It's said with such seriousness. And the next scene is that character who's like a guy in his 30s, who's supposed to be in his 30s. He was made the groundskeeper after he let that boy drown. That's his punishment. You're not a like, because that's how real world works. You're not a counselor anymore. Now you're the custodian. That's the way it works. And then there's so many scenes of that character like reminiscing, and he's just like holding a bottle, like this is holding a crying. But it's a booze bottle, like I'm just making up for my sin, letting that boy drown. And it's done in a way that is sincere, not in a goofy way like I just did, like some movies do. It's on YouTube, and you can order it on DVD. Did you guys find any interesting movies going about your summer camp exploration?
Well,
They were all ones I had already seen.
I did find one today that I didn't even know existed that had some pretty well-known actors in it, and it was Camp Coldbrook with Danielle Harris and Chad Michael
seen that
Murray.
one.
You've seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that one. either.
It's not even worth it. It is so
Oh.
bad. I was so impressed that these particular two actors were in this film. They were great in it. Don't get me wrong. They were the best thing about this movie. Their existence in it, they should feel the people who got them should feel so proud. And they were so good in it. Frustrates me because Danielle Harris and Chad Michael Murray are actually good actors.
I love
don't know
Danielle
what their
Harris.
agents are doing, but they need to do better by them. That movie was so bad.
Hey, if let's say you just had to be on set for like 2 days, and just like I could do it,
And like their entire budget went to their paychecks. That would be great.
Yeah.
That made
I
me
didn't
feel
even realize that was
better
a summer
about the
camp
fact that They were
movie.
in it. 'Cause
I hadn't
Well,
heard of it.
so here's the thing. It's like a reality paranormal investigation crew who go to a summer camp that is no longer open and to
Oh.
investigate summer camp massacre that had happened like 2 decades
Is it
prior.
found footage?
It's not really.
It
There's
sounds like
moments
it should be.
where you are
I got so
looking
excited.
at found footage that they're watching, but you're not actually. I don't even remember if there was ever a time where you were looking at found footage full screen that wasn't you looking at
Okay.
found footage on a screen of something else.
Sounds awesome.
It was so awesome.
It was so good.
There's one
so
movie
good.
there's one movie that comes up a lot when Sleepaway Camp is a cult favorite, but there's another one that's a big cult favorite. But when I saw it, I'm like, I maybe because I expected more. I know you and I, Crystal, were talking about it, and we watched it. Was The Burning, which is not a bad movie. It's
I
just
just watched that one last Halloween season.
it's mid,
Yeah.
right? How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, it didn't blow my mind, but there was
It-
some good kills in it, good moments.
It is great effects. Thank you, Savini.
Tom Savini, yeah.
Yeah.
He did a lot
That
of
I
these.
give it a lot of credit for. One of my
Yeah.
favorite campy scenes happens in that movie because it's so ridiculous, but it just highlights how great Tom Savini's work is. And
Yeah.
that's the raft scene where like he massacres a bunch of people on a raft. Like, why wouldn't you just get off the raft and
Yeah.
swim away? Like, you think he's gonna come after you with pruners and swim? Like, and it's like in slow motion, not like the film is in slow motion. Like everyone is moving in slow mo.
It was the
Like,
80s. People
you
moved
see
slower
these,
back
like,
then.
Pruners like going, and
Yeah.
they're just like, oh my god.
And as much as people
Yeah.
like to say that it's like that's a ripoff of Friday the 13th, it actually was in production before Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th came
Yeah.
out first, but The Burning was in production first. And the one movie that they were making a movie called Madman, this crew from Staten Island University. Well, they have a film department or had a film department, and they were making a movie like, oh, they made so much money on Friday the 13th, and let's do that too. Cropsby Legend was from, did I say that right?
Cropsy?
Cropsy, yeah.
Cropsy.
Cropsy.
Cropsy. I know your New England accent.
Gotta go to the
Cropsy.
pack. Gotta go to the packy. Gotta go to the packy. Get some.
Cropsy again.
Get our 40 at the. We gotta go to the, go to the packy and get our 40. Then they heard another production was already doing the Cropsy legend or doing their version of it, which was The Burning, because that's the name of the killer in The Burning. So they just called they renamed their killer the Madman Mars to tell you of his horror. It's a great song for.
It was great. It was great. I almost wanted to like see if I could like do that for an intro, and I was like, nah.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot.
Oh, the Madman Mars. It's so Madman Mars and The Burning to me are kind of like equal, like
Yeah.
they're not like. And shout out to Jason Alexander in The Burning. There are decent summer camp movies, especially since there aren't a lot of very good ones out there. They both very
discovered.
in Madman they had to spray paint the leaves green because they really shot that in fall, and it was getting later and later. And even at night, you could tell the
reminds me
leaves
of,
were
like
green.
Halloween, where like they filmed it in California. Fear Street. Why did Fear Street do an entire summer camp movie if summer camp wasn't that prolific? What happened? Why?
Because
where does
it feels
come
like it
from?
is.
Why does it live in
Wait,
our
what do you
brains
mean?
like it's a big deal?
It feels like it feels like it's a genre like one of the big like vampire movies or
Yeah,
zombie movies. It
I
feels
see
like
what
it's
you mean.
that big,
It feels like a go-to setting for horror,
see.
and it's really not that prolific at all. I
Well,
thought
it It's one of
woods
my
are,
favorite settings.
cabins
Like,
are,
yeah, I think
but
it's
not
the thing with
sleepaway
summer
camp.
camp is that it's taking something really innocent and making it really scary. So it works really
Yeah.
well. It's just not a lot of people have done it perfectly. But like as
That's
a
so
setting,
nice to say. A way to say it.
That's
That's a very
really nice
Canadian
to
way to
say.
say it. Not perfectly.
You are always Switzerland on this show. Like,
it's such a fun setting, and I love that I went to summer camp and like a lot of kids do, and like it's just such a fun place that you don't think horror is going to be at. So
I think
that's
it's
why
a
I really like it.
perfect
But
setting. Why
it
isn't
is,
there
but they need to
more?
make more. Yeah, they need to make more.
Come
better
on,
ones.
y'all. Give us some more summer camp horror because Fear
We want
Street
more.
1978. That might be my favorite one on our list, actually.
I love that movie.
I feel like that's my highest rated one.
Yeah.
Out of all of the ones we watched, that one's the best.
It's so good.
Sleepaway Camp's the best for me. Give me all the wrong time pervy stuff. That's so. I love that movie. I love Judy. I
feel
love
like
Judy.
Fear Street 1978 captured all of the good things about a summer camp horror and left out a lot of the pervy bits.
Well, because you actually have
Well, there are
kids
but
playing
not
kids.
Yeah, exactly, Emma.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's not geared towards a hypersexual crowd, right?
It's not. Well, it's not geared towards teenage boys. That's
It's
what the other
not.
ones are more so.
I love Fear Street. So yeah, Fear Street 1978 was my favorite of the trilogy.
Me too.
Oh, really?
Because it was. Well, because it's a summer camp setting. And like I said, I love me a
Mhm.
good summer camp setting. I also really like Sadie Sink. I think she
Me
is
too.
fantastic. I think she's going to go very far in her
Me
career.
too.
Is she the
Jenna
redhead?
Ortega.
Yeah, she played
Yeah,
Sadie.
her and Jenna Ortega are like the future of horror.
Oh,
I just
they're
know it.
fantastic. Yeah.
One other one that I did not rewatch was probably one of the highest rated ones. Are you ready?
Yes.
Scooby Doo Camp Scare.
Oh, I love that one. My daughter likes
It's
that
a
one too.
good
We've watched it a
one.
few times. It's super cute. Well,
It's not
kids are
Zombie
always cute.
Island, Scooby Doo Zombie Island, but it is good. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's another summer camp horror is Scooby Doo Camp Scare.
So
We're getting
there's
intense.
a couple that I really did like that we haven't talked about yet, and that's The Final Girls, which I think is
Oh, I love that.
fantastic,
Yeah.
and has Thaisa Farmiga,
Yeah.
Vera Farmiga's sister in it.
The director wanted to do like a mom movie, like a mother-daughter story, but he didn't want to do it like Stepmom, where it's just like this gratuitous sadness all the time. So
Yeah.
using
Oh,
a
it
horror
was so
vehicle.
good.
I do
I
like that
loved it. And I loved the ending, how it was like they're in the sequel, like they didn't actually get out. And all the
Yeah.
characters kind of came back because Thomas Middleditch, he played Duncan.
Middleditch?
Like, yeah, Middleditch.
I
Have you
don't
watched the show Silicon Valley?
know.
No.
Oh God, you guys should watch that. It is so funny. It is so funny. That's one of my favorite shows. It is funny, but he stars in it. He's like the lead of
Which character
that
is he
show.
in the Final Girls? Is he like the dorky?
He's
I
the
know more
dorky
movies. guy?
brother who knows everything, who gets
Okay.
killed like first, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why this is important, because the question always goes about, if you were in a horror movie, how long would you last? If you were in a horror movie, which character would you be? Him. I'd be him, and I would die first.
All of
Because
us
I'd
would
like,
be.
oh my God, you look like Jason.
You're not
man."
you, Crystal? Oh my, are you a final girl, Crystal? Are you a
Well,
final girl?
Yes. Way to
Oh,
decide my death
Tone-
for me.
I guess
Yeah, I
that's
think-
true. That's true.
I think I'd be a fan.
I would be him, and I would die
I think
first.
we've watched too many horror movies for us to not be final girls. I think all of us would survive.
That
You
is
have all
so
the
nice
info.
of you. I am
Maybe,
totally
maybe.
the annoying prankster that plays pranks that everyone freaking hates, and then you're like, oh, when is this character gonna go? Oh my god.
Well,
Okay,
the
but if
other
we were
option
at a
is, what's
summer
her face?
camp?
Tina. Tina,
yeah,
the one that's
Tina.
supposed to like survive, right? No, not Tina. Tina's the sexy, silly one.
Is she the one
one's
that has
funny.
like the life jacket on?
Yeah.
No, that's Tina with the oven mitts. That was really funny. I think I thought what I liked about the Final Girls is that like because we see horror movies play on tropes a lot, but this one was playing on it in a world where it's like the Wizard of Oz, right? Like she wakes up in this hyper colorized thing, so it's more than just making a parody on tropes. It's kind of the environment they're in and how they made it specific when the scenery was dripping when they went to the flashback and the slow motion.
Which
It
James
really
Wan
it was
used later.
what
Which James Wan also used in *Malignant*.
Oh, not everything he does is a direct steal of something else.
No, I thought that was a ripoff of Silent Hill, actually. So
I thought it was a ripoff of The Matrix, but that's just me.
No, I love that. I love that about this movie. It's great. And it's Paula I was thinking of, who was like the final girl that blew up in her
Oh,
car.
yeah,
Like, so
yeah.
I
She had
would
a muscle
be
car.
Thomas Middleditch's character, the like nerdy, like obsessed with horror guy who's like spazzing out in his fandom too much to like realize that he's in danger or could die, who overestimates his knowledge a little bit. Or I'd be her, who's like, fuck this noise, I'm out of here because that's how you survive, and then crashes
Yeah.
her car and blows up because she's like too quick to get out of there. Like, those are the characters I would be.
I am the guy in the
That's
crop
fair.
top who talks about women's boobs all the time.
Ted Levine. Oh my god. Or not Ted Levine, Adam Levine.
So
Ted
Adam
Levine is
Levine, isn't
very
he
different.
Maroon 5?
Adam
Yeah.
Devine.
They're so close. It's so close. There's like the
It is Ted
names are
Levine,
so
Adam
close.
Levine, Adam Devine. We're there.
But
We got
the
there.
only reason I know is because Adam Levine freaking annoys me. So I'm like, it's not Adam Levine. But
No, Adam
Yeah.
Devine. Adam Devine.
so him in the crop top and the final girls, because I watched an interview with the director and I'm like, that's totally, because there's so many short shorts and crop tops on the guys in sleepaway
my
camp.
God,
So
so many.
80s, so
Yeah.
80s, so crop toppy. But
He's so
I was
funny.
wrong. He said that outfit that he's wearing is inspired by Johnny Depp's outfit in Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm like, oh, that's right, that he wears the crop
totally. I
top
can see
too.
that. Yeah.
But he said a lot of that movie is Friday the 13th, Wizard of Oz, and The Burning. So I think
Yeah.
I think
Makes
a certain some folks had access. I did not had access to The Burning at a certain age, so it kind of sticks.
Mm.
I'm not saying that it's nostalgia alone. It's just we've watched so many movies that parody upon it. So then once we see the actual movie, it doesn't have the impact that
Yeah.
it did
Yeah.
if you hadn't seen all these other things before it. That's me, just talking about boobs and banging chicks in my crop top.
He's so funny in that. I don't know.
He is funny. I like him. in
His
that.
delivery of the pervy stuff, he's like, "Oh, both of you," and then he like takes his pants off. And
Are we going for a twofer?
twofer?
Going for a twofer?
Is this the same guy that gets in the car accident when he gets flung out
Yes,
the
and
window
his
body,
legs go like
open in
bend
half?
forward.
Okay, yeah. It's a good death.
Yeah.
It's a good death.
Yeah, it's a good
I
death.
always love those characters. They're just so ridiculous and fun to watch, even when they're supposed to be serious. It's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angela, what's the matter with you?
And what's his face from Vikings is in this, and he's super cute. Alexander Ludwig. I love him, and he plays like a completely out of typecast, I guess, because
Is he the nerdy guy with the pins?
No. Alexander Ludwig is like the love interest for our main
Okay,
character.
the blonde guy.
Yeah,
one
he was
of-
also in that movie. Oh, he was also in that movie Final Girl. So there's the Final Girls, which we're talking about, but he was also in
Oh.
Final Girl with what's her name? She was in Little
Abigail
Miss
Breslin?
Sunshine. Abigail Breslin, yeah. And like she knows about these guys who like are rich boys who take girls out into the woods and like hunt them. Have you not seen that?
Oh, no.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, it's good. That's actually saying that's too far. It's fun.
decent.
It's fun.
It's mid.
It's
mid.
fun. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think she's a great actress. I think Abigail Breslin and Chloe Grace Moretz are kind of in the same level of acting abilities, where when they were super, super little, they were great child actors, but they didn't grow
Yeah.
up to be like fantastic actors.
Yeah.
He's in it, and I like him. And Nina Dobrev is in it, and she plays like a mean girl stereotype, but they kind of turn that on its head a little bit.
But
by
she's
making it
always
out
kind of
like-
the stepsister, right?
no
Best friend,
she-
stepsister
she's the
from
girl
Arrested
that is,
Development.
like- no, that's Gertie. Nina Dobrev plays the pretty girl, mean girl trope.
I didn't think there was a mean girl in that movie. I don't remember.
there
being-
is.
Oh yeah,
like-
okay, the prissy one. Yeah, okay,
Vicky Summers or whatever.
Who takes a bunch of Adderall? Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
taking-
she's on
yeah.
Adderall, and that's how Tina gets the Adderall, and she's like, "I focus.
Yeah.
Ready, go. Let's
I'm
do
focused. I'm ready. I'm ready.
it." She's probably the best.
Oh,
character in
Mickey,
that
you're so
movie.
fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey,
She's
Mickey.
like, "Griffin."
There's a lot of cheerleading in this episode.
Well, Cheerleader Camp, I enjoyed rewatching. I hadn't seen it for a long time. That's another movie. Well, actually, as much as the attractiveness level is very
Mhm.
disproportionate, not just in physical, but in the personality. Like Leif Garrett's character, basically, he has a girlfriend, right? And any other girl he approaches, he's like making out with. She's like, I want this to be more than a one-time thing, and he's already cheating on his girlfriend. He's like, oh, really? Forget it. Like that is, it's like that immediate, right? Right? Isn't it? It's like immediately creep.
Yeah.
I was a cheerleader. Now it's an appropriate time to say that. I was a cheerleader.
I can see that. I can see that.
Downhill.
You got to show us a picture.
cheer
You put a
captain.
picture in the Discord.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture? Put picture in the Discord. Picture in the Discord. Or a video.
Sure.
Oh my god, I'd love to see that. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not making fun of you. I'd love to see it. No,
Speaking
no.
of the Discord, make sure you guys get in there, and the link is down below.
You can go look at
If
my
you want to
pod.
see Justine
Get
in her
all up
cheerleader
in the
outfit,
Discord.
go on the Discord.
But don't be weird about it.
No, yeah, no, totally don't be weird about it. But cheerleader camp, it's kind of interesting because the movie, our main character has these nightmares. It's similar to Slumber Party Massacre 2, where all these wild things kind of happen in the nightmares, and we are supposed to think she's the crazy one killing everybody, but we know it's totally her friend who kind of has a thing for her, who's in the alligator or mascot costume. We know that. We know that. And what did you guys think of that mascot contest? Should the chicken have won?
No.
The alligator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was better than the chicken.
Yeah, I agree.
And Leif Garrett was the one in the chicken costume. He wasn't supposed to be the one, but that was the person. I was made for dancing all night long.
It's a pretty fun movie. For some reason, that movie feels
Different
like
song.
it could have.
I know.
be based
That's
off
what
of a
reminded
few-
It's a better song. What's
No,
that, Crystal?
Sorry.
I was saying, for some reason, Cheerleader Camp feels like it could have been based off of like a Fear Street novel or like a young teen novel. Like it could have been based off of it. I don't know. I got that vibe from it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think the only thing that put up that rating was the sexy stuff. Like there
Yeah,
was a
for
lot
sure.
of, then there was a little bit of nudity, especially the
Oh,
scene where the counselors are having sex and
Yeah.
people are recording it.
Yeah, that movie's a little wild, honestly.
It is. Wait,
kind of
but
all
if you
over
take
the
out that the pervy stuff, it totally would be like a Fear Street. Totally would be.
Yeah.
And I think that movie was, I don't know if it's because there's so many awful summer camp movies that movie seems better than it actually is. I also watched Bloody Bible Camp, which
Well,
Ron
your
Jeremy
cheerleading
plays
camp
Jesus.
one, the cheerleading camp one reminds me of You Might Be a Killer. You might be the killer because of
Oh,
the
a
nightmare
little bit,
stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit, but that's mostly on the phone. I didn't care for that. I didn't like it.
It's not my
Fran
favorite movie.
Kranz is a dreamboat.
Who?
Fran Kranz. Fran Kranz.
I don't have a wall to hit over here, so I'm just like flinging my
I
arm.
thought you were pushing somebody out of your camera, like they were.
No, I was mocking your. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty.
Well, I like that that girl
Kranz.
who plays the Buffy's friend, the redhead.
Allison Hannigan.
Yeah,
sure.
Allison Hannigan.
Sure.
Yeah,
Willow.
she's like a Blockbuster employee or something.
Yeah, she's working at like a good.
For those that haven't seen the movie, a guy in it's not even really, it is a summer camp, but he's saying, "Oh, this crazy stuff's happening, and all this blood is all
People
over
are
me.
getting
What's going
murdered."
on?" And she's like, and then she's like, "Oh, well, does the killer wear a mask?" Da, 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 da. And then obviously, like the title implies,
Yeah, the mask possesses him.
yeah, sure,
It's
let's
like
take
The
the
Mask.
responsibility away from him because
It reminded me of like the Jim Carrey movie.
Fran
The
Kranz
Mask,
does
but
no
it's
wrong.
like-
Did it? Was it wood? It was wooden, right? Like the mask
Yeah.
in.
Oh, it
Yeah.
looks almost just like the mask from the mask. This is
Yeah.
the mask, but with murder.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
the
as
mask
wacky
is
as the
very-
mask.
The
I think
Mask
it's
is-
kind of wacky. I don't know. It
No,
has-
not
mean, it's a
the
little fun.
mask. Not the mask wacky. Like if you want the
Again,
mask
I don't
wacky
think
kind of
any
horror,
these
watch
movies are
Darkman.
particularly like stellar, great movies that are really gonna win. people
We're
over.
digging,
But,
you
like,
guys. We are digging. That
I
is
think
if
this
you
one
haven't
is one of the
ascertained that from our discussion, we are digging. And for a lot of people that might mention the Friday the 13th, it's only one, which is it isn't even
And I did
One,
talk about Friday the
two,
13th. Fantastic sex scene.
and 6 that count where there's an active or getting ready for an active summer camp. And one series I've been excited to watch because some of them are SOV shot on video, which is I love that. And there's many of them. I think there's over 8, but I couldn't dig through them enough. Is the Camp Blood movies, but the ones that did have descriptions, and we only have so much time, they weren't technically summer camp movies. There might be one in there, but from the ones that had descriptions easily ascertained from the internet. But I wanted to see the Camp Blood. For those that don't know, the Camp Blood, it's a killer clown guy in a clown mask killing people in the woods. And I kind of liked watching a little bit in the first one, but so anybody that mentions Camp Blood, let me know if there is one of them that technically there is a summer camp and that is the main setting for most of the movie. Let me know.
Yeah.
I mean, people think of Adam's Family Values a lot when it comes to summer camp. Wednesday when she goes to camp.
Yeah.
That was on my list and I rewatched it. I like that
That's
one.
great.
That one's fantastic.
But it's
That-
not
I
really
like.
horror, is it?
It's a family horror. I'd say it's family
I
horror
consider it family horror. Yeah, as much
Okay.
horror as like Nightmare Before Christmas is.
or Hocus Pocus.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I actually prefer Adam's Family Values over Adam's Family.
What? Well, Debbie's great. I love Debbie.
Debbie is fantastic. Joan Cusack, fuck yeah.
Well, we'll
And
get
then,
to
like-
that in another episode because we'll totally go out. I
Why
freaking
not?
love
This
Debbie.
is a summer camp one. It was on my list of watches.
Yeah, but my favorite part of that movie is Debbie. I freaking love
My favorite
Debbie.
part of that movie is Wednesday and Homeboy acting like Morticia and Gomez at summer camp.
And she kills
like,
him.
Yes. Like, I love it. I love Wednesday in that one. Like, she is like the star of that movie besides Debbie. I love
Debbie
Wednesday.
and Fester.
like,
I
she
one of
has
my
the
favorite
best
lines when she gives him the
lines.
gift and he's like, "What is it? What is it for their anniversary?" And she's like, "You just have to find out. Is it string?" And he's like, I don't know why that line. It's just the way Christopher Lloyd's face. And she's like, "You just
Oh.
have to find out." He's like, "It's a bomb." She's like, "No, it's not a bomb. It is a bomb." He's like, "I'll just have to wait for our next anniversary." And how they all
I think-
sympathize with Debbie at the end. They're like, "But what about Debbie?" She's like, "What about Debbie?" Joan Cusack's my favorite part of that movie.
I was gonna
I
say,
need
like,
I
think
need a projector now.
Wednesday I think has some of the best lines though, where she's talking to that mean girl basically.
Is there another
I
movie?
feel that.
I feel like we've talked about all of them. Well, we didn't talk about Summer Camp, the one with the rage virus, but there's not much to say about it.
I don't have any more on my list. That's
That's
pretty much
it, really.
all.
I did have fun watching a lot of them, though, especially camp days. Ooh, I love
Yeah,
camp. I ordered it on disc immediately, like before I even finished
Did
watching it.
you?
I'm like, I need to freaking own this. Yes, I went on Amazon and I'm like, this is something I need. I need to own. It's like that kind of thing that like you hope that you find, and not in the
Yeah.
sense of well, there's two things. You hope you find something that is earnest but funny.
Mhm.
It's not too stupid, and you hope you find,
Yeah.
or you hope you find like a hidden gem and it's scary and adequate horror. But I was so happy I found a movie that I really liked out of this. But yeah, it's amazing how much I guess that is how much like characters like Jason and Michael and Freddy, even though only one really is in a horror camp, summer camp setting, how much they loom over the franchise in a good and bad
Mhm.
way, because it really
Yeah.
isn't that much of a genre. It's really Jason carries a lot of it, and there isn't even a
Yeah.
lot of summer camps in most of them. They're camping.
Yeah,
they're
or
woods-
cabins. Yeah.
Woods Lake Cabin, yeah.
So if you do want to hear more about Friday the 13th, me and Emma do break down Michael and Jason in our Michael versus Jason episode.
We got to do a franchise rating too, if you guys are interested.
So-
We need a franchise ranking episode.
Ow.
Oh no! You good?
I like hit my headphone and it like echoed through my brain. Oh wow.
Oh my god.
What is your guys' favorite horror film out of the summer camp that we watched?
100%, because I'm not a good person. Sleepaway Camp is my favorite by far. Sleepaway Camp and Sleepaway Camp 2, Pamela Springsteen. You can give me a call anytime you want. And that's Angela number 2. Those are definitely my favorite and the ones I rewatch besides Friday the 13th, 1, 2, and 6.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th is the most nostalgic for me, so I'm gonna go with Friday
Yeah.
the 13th, but Fear Street very close second.
Yeah, I'm thinking Fear Street 1978, or very, very close is The Final Girls.
Okay.
Might be my favorite.
How old were you guys when you saw Friday the 13th? Like, about, if you remember.
Oh, like 10, maybe younger, maybe younger.
I think it was about 8.
Yeah,
Something like
it
was
was
around
probably
there.
around there.
So that's a year before I went to Camp Kaleidoscope for like 5 days. I had this since I was
too
9.
young. I mean, I know a lot of it went over my head.
Oh yeah, I was
So-
too young.
Well, I think
to
I
actually
remember
understand
thinking it was more boring than I thought it was going to be because it's not super fast-paced horror like you're used to, even
I love
back in the
POVs.
back
I
in the
love the
90s.
intro. The like very
Yeah.
first intro of that movie. I love so much. The like freeze frame.
One of my favorite intros of Friday the 13th is not my favorite Friday the 13th, but the third one where like the music is a bit more synthy disco, boom boom boom.
Yeah.
It's a great intro, and it's kind of
Yeah.
I feel like the intro to the third one, which doesn't count as a summer camp one, they're just going camping, reminds me so much of the beginning to Cabin in the Woods, where it's really they're getting ready, they're getting in the van. It's like it's very that is usually the scene we think of when we think of the beginning of a Friday the 13th, even though it's technically just the third one, the one where he gets
When
hockey
she's
mask.
like what, hitchhiking until she gets to a point to get to camp.
Yeah, she's the
Yeah.
cook. You see Judy, you guys? Yo, Angela, what's the matter with you?
I'm gonna do every time I hear Judy's name. I'm just gonna.
Judy,
And I'm gonna
I don't have that.
Okay. Let us know in the comments your favorite summer camp film. And like we said at the beginning of this video, if we missed some, because we tried, we dug deep, but if we missed some, let us know in the comments. Hop in our Discord, click all the links below, all the thingies. And
Yo,
until
Angela!
next time. Bye-bye. So stupid.
Bye bye.
I was trying to do the Judy boobs.
Bye bye.
After that, I want to talk about cheerleader camp.
I was a cheerleader.
I can see that. That's actually not a surprise.
I was a cheerleader.
KERNELS, Colonels are the best. We're gonna win this game tonight, only if we fight back. Hey, Colonels are
Oh,
the
wow.
best.
What state was that in?
Okay.
Wow.
What state did you go to high school in?
Washington. Propsy.
Propsy.
Where?
I felt it. Plants need water. Water.
New York.
Yo, Angela,
Yeah.
what's the matter with you?
Yo,
what's the matter
Angela.
with Yo, Angela, what's the matter with you?
I'm not even gonna
Have you
attempt
seen
it.
Jody? Jody.
Did you see Judy? Forget about it. They did not say forget about it. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
I should do my own renditioning of what's that movie with all the Boston people in it?
The Departed?
Yeah, The Departed. That's right.
Departed.
I should do my own rendition of The Departed for
Hey,
whatever.
Matt Damon, give us a call.
Matt Damon. Marky Mark.
Excellent.
Maki
Feel it. Feel the vibration. Feel it.
How long are we gonna be on this? I love it.
Oh my god, that shows you how many summer camp movies there are to talk about.